Welcome back everybody to another best comps video for the latest patch 14.18. We have 7 best comps you guys can abuse and should be playing right now for this patch to climb rank. So let's get right into the first one. It is going to be Preserver Karma. She is back in the meta as being the best comp in the game once again. She will be taking charge of this patch. She has a very high average place and win rate right now for a top 4 in your rank games. So Karma is going to be using Blue Buff, Morello, Nashor's. These are her favorite items. She loves spreading the burn. So Blue Buff and Morello's are the best, and then you can have a +1 item so she can keep spamming. And then you're going to be having 4 Preservers in this comp to tank up your front line, Morgana, Rakan, right? Zillion. But your secondary main carry of this build is going to be Gwen. Gwen is actually really strong. So she likes crit combo items like Hodge, Jewel Gauntlet, and Ionic Spark, or you can do like Ionic Spark plus Bloodthirster plus Jewel Gauntlet. You can do any of those combos. I think Ionic Spark is her best item though, so you can do that and then +2 AP items. And Nasus is going to be a high priority tank in this build. He is one of the strongest tanks in the game, and he is just better now. Also, if you have a Preserver Augment and you slam it onto Nasus, well, good luck killing him. He's going to be really hard to kill. So this is the build you want at level 8. Briar is at level 9. So if you're at level 8, there's no Briar. You just maximize this build with 4 Preservers and 2 Chronos with 2 Witchcraft. You'll notice that Fiora also has items, and she is part of this build because she works with Gwen and Morgana. So if you do have attack damage items, Fiora is great, but Gwen is actually, I think, a little bit better than Fiora in this patch. So try to prioritize her, but anything attack damage goes on to Fiora. Let's go to the next best comp here on the list. It is going to be Scholar Ryze. This one is also an S tier comp, very strong. Ryze has consistently been very good in the last couple patches. He is still strong. So Ryze likes items like Archangel Staff, Ginsu, Shojin, Red Buff. Personally, I like Archangel plus Shojin or Ginsu and Red Buff. I think burn on Ryze is really good. Archangel allows him to get infinite damage, and then Shojin he can keep casting. So this build is going to have 4 Scholars with Bard, Melio, and Zoe, and then you're going to have 4 Preservers. So right now, Preservers are one of the best tanks in the game. So Rakan is a really good tank option here. You're going to have Taric for 3 Portals and 2 Bastions later on. So let's say you're not going to have Diana at level 8. This is a level 9 board. So if you are at level 9, you can bring in Diana. Or you can also, of course, have, you can also bring in, let's say, Camille. You can bring in Nora and Yuumi, right? Because Nora and Yuumi is a portal, so she also always works with Ryze. But this is very simple. 4 Scholars, and you're going to have 4 Preservers for your front line. Taric and Rakan are going to be your main tanks, with Ryze just having all of these AP items, and everybody else is just support. So try this one out, 4 Scholar, 4 Preserver Ryze, and see how your games go. Let's take a look at the third comp on this list. It is going to be Faerie Kalista, an S tier comp. Now this one, you're going to be focusing on Kalista. My favorite items for her are Ginsu, Fairy Crown, and Last Whisper. But of course, you can give her other items like double Ginsu. You can do Infinity Edge. She just needs to have 1 Ginsu. So it's Ginsu plus 1 item with the crown. And you're going to be just kind of maximizing the fairy stats. So if you get 7 fairies, that's really good. Like Royal Guard is really strong. And of course, the Fairy Crown. So if you can push for 9 fairies, definitely do it. 9 fairies is extremely strong. But basically, you're going to just have all the fairy champions on the board. Melio, you want to hit that if you can. Rakan is again going to be your main tank. Rakan is one of the best tanks in the game. So if you have that 7 Fairy Crown armor, give it to Rakan. Gargle, Warmogs, really good tank items for Rakan. So I like to give those to him as well. Now, Katarina, you can keep her at 2 stars, right? But the thing is, if you do go for a Katarina 3-star reroll, you can also do that. You can do 3-star Katarina because you're going to have 3 Multistrikers and 2 Warriors. Akali will give you the Warrior bonus. You want Hecarim. So Hecarim, Akali, and 6 Fairies. Just everybody else is going to be Fairies, and then you're going to have Hecarim, Akali. That's the simple way to play this build. Just keep in mind, these are the only 2 supports you really need for this build. And you can opt to go for a Katarina reroll build at level 7 or level 8. If you want to 3-star her at level 7 or 8, do it. but you need to have Katarina items as well, like Hodge and Jewel Gauntlet. Those two are the best items for her. However, she can use Bloodthirster, Ionic Spark. She's kind of like Gwen, but I think for Kat, the double Hodge, the Hodge and the Jewel Gauntlet is really strong for her. So this is up to you on how you want to play this, but basically you just want to maximize fairies. Try to focus on Kalista. It will be easier to hit her at level 8, let's say, or level 9. But if you do happen to have a lot of Katarinas, you have her items, go for it. And then make sure you have a Kali and Hecarim to support this build. Well, let's move on to the next best comp. It is going to be Frost. Now, Olaf is making a big comeback in this patch. Olaf is very strong now. He is actually the main focus of this build. That's why it's called Frost Olaf. He likes items like Sterix, BT, and Titans because he's a frontline melee unit. He's Fiora basically. And in this build, it shows that we have 9 Frost, but you don't actually need to have 9 Frost. It's just that if you have Frost emblems and you're going to have Varus and Nasus to support this team, you're going to just put in all the Frost champions in the game, and then you're going to put in Varus and Nasus. That's the easiest way to remember this. But if you have the emblem, this thing is really strong on Varus, so I would give this to Varus first. If you get the Augment or if you have the Frost emblem, give this to Varus. And then the second priority would be Nasus. So Varus is really good with this item with crit combo. Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Frost Emblem is his perfect combo. If you don't have Frost Emblem, you can give him Spear of Shojin, but he likes Infinity Edge and Last Whisper. Your main focus is Olaf though, so you will want to hit him at level 8, let's say, and you want to buy every Frost champions. You must have Twitch for at least 2 Hunters. Hui, you can give him any AP items, right? But with this build, you can either go for Hui 3-star as well. If you want to play Hui 3, you got to roll at level 7 or 8. But you can also just keep him at Hui level 2 because your main focus is going to be Olaf anyways. So you can have 5 or 7 Frost. You do not need 9 Frost for this build, right? So you just need to bring in all these Frost champions, have Varus in the back, and then maybe have Nasus in the front because he is a beast tank. Any tank items would go on to Nasus or Swain. If you choose to play Swain 3-star, you could also do that. But this is called Frost Olaf. Give him a try. He is really strong right now, and I believe this is a very strong comp right now. Moving on to the next comp we have, it is Shapeshifter Smolder. This one also has a very high win rate right now. This build is very simple. You just need to get 6 Shapeshifters frontline: Elise, Shyvana, Briar, Nasus, Swain, Nico. And then you're going to have Varus and Smolder. Namzi comes in at level 9. So if you're a level 9, you can bring in Namzi. If you don't, just do Smolder and Varus. If you don't have Varus, you can do Namzi as well. So you can have, you can have a mix of Varus, Smolder. You ideally want to have Varus and Smolder. However, because they do give each other Blaster, you'll have at least 2 dragons. So try to get these 2. Smolder likes Ginsu and Infinity Edge with Pyro Emblem. Pyro Emblem is really strong on Smolder, and this works very well because you have Nasus and Varus. So you have more execution and more attack speed. Or you can give him also Last Whisper or Giant Slayer. But I would say Ginsu plus 2 items for Smolder. And we have, or you can do crit combo, no Ginsu, like Infinity Edge, Last Whisper plus 1. You don't need to have Ginsu on Smolder. For Varus, like I was saying before, he likes the same kind of items, crit combo with Spear of Shojin. This is my favorite combo. If you don't have Spear of Shojin, you can always do Ginsu, you can always do Giant Slayer. And if you have 2 Frost emblems, if you can squeeze in 3 Frost, you can still give Varus a Frost emblem if you want in that case. But yeah, this build is very simple. You just need to have 6 Shapeshifters for the front, right? Try to get Nasus 2-star. He is still going to be your premier tank. Give him all your tank items. Briar can use items like Olaf, like BT, Sterix, Titans, and so on. Namzi at level 9 when you have the space for that. So this is Shapeshifter Smolder. Try this one out. Shouldn't be that hard to play if you can hit that Smolder and Varus in the back. So let's take a look at the next build. So coming in at number 6, we have Press the Attack Kalista. Now, just by looking at this name, if you know the augment Press the Attack, you might think you need it, but you actually don't. If you have Press the Attack, this comp is better, but you do not need to have it. This is a 7 multi-striker reroll comp. So you can have, this comp is really good to play if you have the multi-striker crest, because you can hit 7 multi-strikers really easily without hitting Camille. This comp is also really good if you have anger, I think anger management or something, that prismatic augment where your items become Ginsus. Notice how Kalista in this case has triple Ginsu on her. So does Camille. If everybody has triple Ginsu, that's perfect. So, or I think it was Anger Issues. Anger Issues is really, really powerful with this build as well. So you don't need to have press the attack. Your goal is to get 7 multi-striker as quickly as you can. Now, there's many ways to actually play this comp. It is very flexible. So let's say you are rerolling at level 6, then you're going to be focusing on Kali 3 and Kassadin 3. If you are rerolling at level 7, then you can actually go for Hecarim 3 and you can still get Kalista. Yes, Hecarim 3 is playable. He's actually very strong if you have Olaf items. Once again, Sterix, BT. Here we have double Sterix and BT as his best in slot, and I do think double Sterix is very good for Hecarim. You don't need to have Titans. And then we have Kassadin. If you ever play Kassadin, he likes Ginsu, BT, QSS. He doesn't get stunned. He keeps attacking and healing like crazy. Camille uses the same items as Hecarim, if you don't have Anger Issues, of course. Kalista, 1 Ginsu plus 2 items. Once again, you don't need to have triple Ginsu. And if you do 3-star Jax, if you do 3-star Ashe, you can play them, but they're not the focus. Shen is good with Akali and Hecarim because you get Bastion and Pyro, so you always have Shen. Akali, if you do want to play her, you can give her Edge of Night and stuff, but this build is better played with Kassadin 3 or Hecarim 3 or Kalista 2. So you have many routes to play this build. So again, if you're rerolling at level 6, Kassadin 3, maybe Akali 3. At level 7 reroll, you're going to go for Hecarim 3 build. But once again, if you have, let's say, the Press the Attack augment, if you have Multistriker Crest, this build is going to be easier to play. And now for the last comp here, number 7, we have Honeymancy Ziggs. Now this is a new one. This build is starting to see a lot of play, and Ziggs is quite strong right now. So Ziggs 3-star is actually being forced. And this comp, you want to get essentially 5 Honeymancies. So you want to just get Blitzcrank, Kog'Maw, Ziggs, Veigar, Nunu, and then you're going to support this comp with just Arcanas. So this is very simple to play. 5 Honeymancies, 3 Arcanas. Tahm Kench, Ahri, Hecarim. And if you have Xerath at level 9, you can also bring in Xerath. So you just want to maximize Arcana. Or instead of Xerath, you could also have 2 Incanters. But Ziggs actually doesn't need Incanters. So that's why there's no Karma or Cassiopeia, let's say. And Ziggs, he likes items like Morello, Spear of Shojin, and Jewel Gauntlet. I think this is one of his best in slot, but Ziggs can really use anything. He can use Monazane, he can use Zanya's, he can use Blue Buff, Rabadon. You can just combo him. Basically, you just need to have Spear of Shojin or Blue Buff, and then plus 2 AP items, let's say, or Nashor's Tooth. So Ziggs is very flexible. He is very strong at 1 cost. And then we have Kog'Maw 3. Now, here's the thing. With Kog'Maw, you don't have to hit Kog'Maw 3, but you can. Let's say you get a lot of Kog'Maws, okay, go for it. If you have attack damage items, go for it. Kog'Maw is good with Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, and then Spear of Shojin. This is his best combo. So if you have any attack damage items, Kog'Maw 3 is great. We're not really focusing on Veigar in this build. And then we have Ahri here. She's just supporting. Nunu 3 is pretty good. You can also hit Nunu 3 with Ziggs and Kog'Maw, right? And then you have Blitzcrank. So if this is a level 4, level 5 reroll comp or level 6. So now this is how it works. If you go for level 6, you're also kind of trying to get Kog'Maw and Nunu 3, right? But you want to roll at level 5. So you ideally stay at level 5. You want to make a lot of gold. You want to save a lot of gold in the early game. And after Krugs, you start slow rolling, or you can roll a little bit more depending on how your game is going. And you're going to be trying to get Ziggs 3 and Blitzcrank 3 as soon as possible. Now, the best augments for this comp are Honeymancy Crests, because if you have a Honeymancy Crest, you can even push for 7 Honeymancy, or you can, let's say, drop Veigar, and let's bring in Karma, and then give her a Honeymancy emblem, or give Tahm Kench, give somebody else Honeymancy emblem. You can drop Veigar, because he's going to be not doing as much in this build, right? Or you can bring in Xerath for more Arcanas. So with Blitzcrank here, by the way, his best items are Gargoyle, Warmogs, and Ionic Spark. I believe this is actually his best items. And also this combo really works well for Zap Attack. So if you have the Zap Attack augment, this build you should definitely force. That makes Blitzcrank 3 even better, and Ziggs is going to do even more damage, let's say. So if you also have the Sweet Tooth, I think it's called Sweet Tooth augment for Nunu, it's going to be a really powerful combo as well. So if you have Sweet Tooth, I would go for Nunu 3. Right, so anything with Honeymancy augments, very good to choose and play this build. But ideally, in a regular normal situation, if you are playing this build, stay at level 5, hit the 3-star Ziggs, hit the Blitzcrank 3, buy every Kog'Maw and Nunu you see, and then you can go to level 6 once you hit 3-star Ziggs and Blitzcrank, and then you can decide if you want to 3-star Kog'Maw and Nunu. If you want to, reroll at level 6 as well, and then move on to level 7 and 8. If not, you can also just kind of just move on, and then, you know, go to level 8 and 9 and fill your board with Hecarim, Tom, and Ahri, let's say. But Kog'Maw 3 and Nunu 3 would definitely complement this team even better, even strong. It will make this team even stronger. So yeah, you should go for them if you can, but every game is going to be different, so play accordingly. So there you guys go. These are my top 7 best comps for patch 14.18. Definitely be abusing these until the next patch drops, and I'll be back with another video for best comps as always. Remember guys to leave a like, subscribe, and comment in the video. That will really help out my channel grow, and I would love to make more content for you guys. So please, if you guys can support me in that way, that would be awesome. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great time playing TFT and climbing ranked, and I'll see you guys on the next one.